What if I told you there's a giant spaceship that landed in Berlin in the 1970s and never left? Well, it's not really a spaceship. It's the International Congress Centrum, ICC, a building so futuristic that people thought it came from outer space when it opened in 1979. Let's dive into the story of this amazing building and its journey through time. Back in the Cold War, Berlin was split into East and West. West Berlin was surrounded by East Germany and cut off from the rest of West Germany. The Soviet Union wanted to weaken it, but West Berlin wanted to prove it was strong and modern. To show the world it was still thriving, the city needed a big, impressive place to host events. Their old meeting hall could only fit 1,200 people, which wasn't enough for a city trying to make a statement. In response, West Berlin planned the International Congress Centrum, ICC, to prove its importance. Architects Ursulina Schulerwitt and Ralph Schuler were chosen to create a super-modern design that would outshine East Berlin's new Palace of the Republic. The project was funded by the West Berlin government with financial support from West Germany, as part of its efforts to keep the city strong despite its isolation. Construction began in 1975 and finished in 1979, costing almost $1 billion Deutsche Marks, more than the State Library. But the ICC was worth it. It became a symbol of West Berlin's bright future. Inside, the ICC was built to be high-tech and futuristic. It had 8,000 seats with special headphones so people could listen to speeches in 8 different languages. The floors had cool geometric patterns, and glowing red and blue lights helped people find their way. At first, some people didn't like how it looked. They called it anti-architecture and said it focused too much on technology. But over time, people grew to love it. The ICC became a famous landmark, appearing on postcards and proving that West Berlin was still strong and thriving. The ICC significantly boosted West Berlin's economy during its operational years. It hosted 8,786 events that attracted around 11 million visitors, generating substantial revenue through tourism, creating thousands of jobs in hospitality and event management, and reinforcing Berlin's status as a global conference hub. Now let's take a walk through one of Berlin's most impressive buildings, the International Congress Centrum, ICC. Imagine you're driving into the city on the highway. Suddenly, a massive silver structure appears beside the road, stretching 320 meters long, 80 meters wide, and 40 meters high. That's longer than 3 football fields. Its sleek, metallic design makes it look like a spaceship that just landed in Berlin. Its silvery aluminum facade and dynamic form were designed to evoke the image of a spacecraft ready for launch. It stands boldly next to the AVUS racetrack and the Berlin Radio Tower, making a striking first impression on anyone entering the city. Now let's head inside. As you walk through the entrance, you step into a huge, open foyer with bars on both sides. Look up, and you'll see escalators and staircases leading to the second floor, the heart of the building. But getting around this giant structure is easy. The architects designed a smart wayfinding system with glowing red and blue lights, guiding visitors through the halls like neon pathways. On the second floor, the layout encourages conversation. You'll find seating areas with groups of 4 chairs around low tables, creating perfect spots for meetings and discussions. The centerpiece of this floor is a multi-story light sculpture, adding both beauty and a futuristic touch. Now, let's explore what made this place world famous. The ICC was built to host some of the biggest events in Berlin. It has 80 rooms of different sizes, designed for everything from small meetings to massive conferences. The largest auditorium is truly impressive. It seats 5,000 people, making it the first of its kind in Germany. Notably, Hall 1 seats up to 5,000 attendees, while Hall 2 accommodates 2,000, with the remaining rooms offering capacities ranging from 20 to 3,000 seats. It was built for international events, so organizers installed cutting-edge translation equipment that could handle up to 8 languages at the same time. No matter where visitors came from, they could understand every speech in real time. Another unique feature is the car foyer, an area where guests could drive right up to the entrance. This was perfect for VIPs, event organizers, and even large-scale exhibits. Every part of the ICC was built to feel advanced and modern. The floors had custom-designed gray-brown carpets with circular patterns, which today would be called retro chic. The ceilings were mint green, while dark green plant containers, metal railings, and solid concrete pillars gave the space a strong, industrial look. Noise was another challenge because the building was right next to a highway. To solve this, engineers used neoprene bearings and advanced acoustic systems to keep sound out, making sure that conferences and performances inside were crystal clear. For over 30 years, the ICC was the heart of West Berlin's cultural and business life. It hosted international conferences, concerts, and major events. For over 3 decades, the ICC hosted prestigious international events. Beyond concerts like the Grateful Dead performance in 1990, it was the venue for high-profile political meetings such as NATO summits and EU ministerial conferences. It also welcomed cultural milestones like Berlinale film screenings and major scientific conventions that brought global attention to Berlin. The ICC's futuristic design also made it perfect for movies, like the Apple, which used it as a high-tech concert hall. Even though people loved the ICC and it was known as one of the best Congress centers in the world, it eventually closed its doors in 2014. What happened? By the early 2000s, newer and more modern venues were popping up all across Berlin and Europe. Places like City Cube Berlin offered better technology and more flexible spaces that worked better for modern events. The ICC was just too big and its technology was getting outdated, making it hard to compete with newer venues. Taking care of the ICC also became a huge challenge. While its high-tech design was amazing in the 1970s, it became outdated and super expensive to maintain. One of the biggest problems was asbestos contamination, which can make people sick. Just removing the asbestos would cost more than 259 million euros. That's a lot of money. Plus, the building's enormous size made day-to-day costs way too high. So in April 2014, the ICC officially closed. Since then, it has mostly sat empty, though it has been used temporarily for different purposes. During the refugee crisis, it provided housing for people who needed it. During the COVID-19 pandemic, it became a vaccination center. It even hosted an art festival called The Sun Machine is Coming Down. In 2019, the ICC was designated a listed building, which means it's protected because of its architectural importance. Even though it's closed, people still care deeply about the ICC. In 2023, over 30,000 visitors came to explore the building during Berlin's Open Monument Day. The Berlin government is now working on a plan to transform the ICC into a modern space for art, culture, and innovation, while still keeping it available for conferences when needed. They expect to make final decisions about what exactly will happen to it by 2026. The ICC became a protected historic landmark in 2019. Many groups, like the Architectural Association of Berlin and the Monument Council, fought to save it. To them, the ICC represents West Berlin's strength during the Cold War. Berliners also love the ICC. In 2023, over 30,000 people visited during Open Monument Day, showing just how much people care about its future. There are lots of ideas about what to do with the ICC. The Berlin Senate wants to turn it into a cultural center, like the Centre Pompidou in Paris, making it a space for art, tech, and innovation. To find the best idea, the city launched an international competition in 2024, asking architects and investors to submit renovation plans. The winning idea will be chosen in 2026. Fixing the ICC won't be easy. The asbestos removal alone costs a fortune, and updating such a unique building without changing its iconic look is tricky. Plus, after renovation, they'll need a plan to keep it running without losing money. There's hope for the ICC. In 2024, Berlin launched a competition called Inspire Berlin, Inspire the World, to find creative ways to bring the ICC back to life. At the same time, a group called the International Center of Contemporary Culture, ICCC, suggested turning it into a major cultural center. People see the ICC as more than just a building. It symbolizes Berlin's ambition during the Cold War and stands as a masterpiece of high-tech architecture. Thousands of Berliners showed their support during Open Monument Day in 2023, and the future looks bright. The competition will lead to a final concept in 2026, after which renovations will begin. While no one knows exactly what the future holds, one thing is clear: the ICC is too important to be forgotten. The story of Berlin's ICC is super amazing. It started as West Berlin's way of showing it was strong during the Cold War, and now it's like a sleeping giant just waiting to wake up. This awesome spaceship building has seen history happen all around it for almost 50 years. Think about it. Buildings aren't just places where people go. They can tell stories, stand for important ideas, and even save memories from the past like a time capsule. The ICC might be mostly empty right now, but its future looks super bright. So many people are working hard to save it and turn it into something new and exciting. What would you do with a giant spaceship building in the middle of your city? Would you make it into a museum, a space center, or maybe the world's coolest playground? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to learn more about amazing megaprojects around the world.